Hi guys, welcome to another quick guidance video. In today's video, I will show an example of a guesstimate. I have already covered the basics of guesstimate and also done as an example before. So you can check it in the video link up there. And I think that I'll just reiterate why guesstimates are important. They are really important in a lot of job interviews. They are essentially used to check what is your overall thought process, what is the structure of your thoughts, and it is extremely important in your problem solving skills. So that is what it is used to check and test. So these are used in interviews of suppose marketing, of PM Tech, of consulting, all these interviews wherein you require a lot of problem solving, showcasing a lot of problem solving skills. They might also be used in some random college interviews probably. So that is why knowing guesstimates is something that is important. Even for people who are preparing for consulting, I have known a lot of firms who just ask guesstimates in their first or second rounds. So it is extremely important and it is kind of a base to the case solving that we will do later on. So that is why guesstimates are really important. So I would advise you to actually go through a few guesstimates, practice a lot as well. So let's just get started with today's question. I will go over a few basics again. So today's question is estimate the average daily revenue of a McDonald's store. Okay. So I will just go through the basics. The basic approach that we discussed last time was asking some questions which will help you make the problem even more clearer. Okay. Then try to devise a formula that should equate to the average revenue of a McDonald's store. Okay. And then identify the overall approach. Try to confirm it with the interviewer. Again, any sensitive numbers also try to confirm them with the interviewer. And we will be mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive at every step. I have detailed this out in the previous video, so you can watch it for more explanation. And we will try to do a sanity check at the end. Okay. So let's just get started with the prelim questions. So the preliminary questions are like, I will ask, where is this particular store that we are talking about located? Now, in this example, we are taking that the store is located in CP, Connaught Place in Delhi. Even the interviewer can say that it is just located in a metro city. That could be one answer. It could also say something like it is in tier 2 city or at an airport or something like that. So we will need to change our numbers and assumptions based on this particular question. That is why this question is important in the start of the problem solving. Another question will be that by average day, do you mean a weekday, do you mean a weekend, or do you mean average of both? So we will be taking average of both. Again, I will ask that is it a post-COVID scenario or a pre-COVID scenario? So today we are assuming it to be a pre-COVID scenario. And another question would be that suppose I include dine-in, should I also include takeaways and delivery? So today we will be including takeaways along with dine-in. So now my problem is a little bit more clear. Okay, now I know there's a store in Connaught Place for which I have to estimate the average daily revenue in a pre-COVID scenario where I need to include the dine-in customers and the takeaway customers. Okay, so we will now try to devise a formula. So the formula is essentially that revenue in any day is the number of hours the store is open into the number of customers that come per hour into the average bill per customer. So we will identify that say 10 customers come in an hour, and if they are paying 100 each, that means I'm earning 1000 per hour. And if your store is open for 10 hours, that gives you a 10,000 of daily revenue. That's how this overall formula works. Okay. This is just one possible formula. There are plenty of formulae out there that you can use, and you can be creative. You can try that out as well. I'm giving just another example of another formula. So the other way you can do it is, suppose you say that I will calculate the revenue from dine-in customers, and then I will assume that the takeaway orders are 20% of the dine-in orders. And that is a decent assumption if your interviewer also agrees with you, okay? Because Connaught Place is one kind of place where people would just mostly come in and dine. So takeaway orders could possibly be 20% of those. How will you find out the dine-in customers? You will again see the number of hours your store is open. What is the overall capacity of your store? What is the average capacity utilization? and again the average bill per customer. So suppose on average your store is filled like 70% and there are seats for 100 customers. Hence there are 70 customers at any time in the store and the average bill could be again 100. So that gives you 7,000, 7,000 per hour if you are assuming that the customer stays in for an hour. Okay. So this is just another approach. You can just tell me a few other approaches that you would like or a few other formulae that you would like to try and post them in the comments below. So today we'll just go through the first approach and focus on that. So the way I have done it is I have taken this revenue per day. I've taken all the 3 different components of the formula and we'll try to expand further in those. Okay. So for weekdays, I've taken peak hours to be 3 hours, mostly during lunch and dinner time, and the other hours to be non-peak hours, that is 11 hours. I'm assuming that the store is open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. On weekends, again, I've taken the peak hours to be a little bit, more because people tend to have lunch. I mean, the lunch hours and dinner hours both are extended, and the remaining are non-peak hours. Okay. So this is one way of doing it in which, because I have already, confirmed from the interviewer that I will include weekdays and weekends. That means I will take out peak hours and non-peak hours in both of those. Now, next, I will see how many customer groups will come per hour. Now, knowing that there are peak hours and non-peak hours, I need to ensure that the number of customers per hour will be more in peak hours as compared to non-peak hours. Okay. So this is what I have done now. This says that in peak hours, my number of customers will come from, now again I have got it down to a formula which says that it will be number of active hours divided by the time spent per customer on the counter. Okay. So in peak hours weekdays, I'm assuming there are 4 counters active and one customer takes around 2 minutes to place the order to get the bill and then move out for the next customer. And similarly, I have made assumptions for weekdays non-peak hours, weekend peak hours, weekend non-peak hours. Just taking another, another time slot, which is weekdays non-peak hours. I'm assuming only 2 counters are open because these are non-peak hours, and a customer on an average takes 3 minutes to place an order. So the difference that this is creating is that on peak hours on weekdays, I will be serving 120 customers per hour in the store. While in non-peak hours, I'll just be serving 40 customers per hour, which is a decent amount. That means that, you are bringing it down. You are bringing the overall number of customers per hour down. Okay. So this is one thing. Then another thing is, then I'm coming to the average bill per customer. Now, again, you can do it on an average basis, or you can do it on a very specific small basis. Okay. That means that you can do it either by saying that individuals will spend about 80 rupees per individual, while if groups come, they might spend 400 rupees per group, and hence the average will be about 250. Or you can just directly say that the average spend would be around 150. Now that we have done this for the entire slots, we will move on to the next slide, wherein I'm saying, yeah. So I think I just did a little bit of typo in the last slide. Just let's look at the numbers on this slide. So the overall, now we have assumed that now we know all the 3 components of our formula. Okay. So our store is open for 3 hours on weekends is peak hours, and the average spend is 250. There are 120 people coming in. Hence the average what revenue that you are getting in peak hours is 90,000 rupees. Okay. And similarly, we have calculated for non-peak hours weekdays, peak hours weekends, non-peak hours weekends. Okay. Now moving on to calculating the overall thing. Now you know that on a weekday, what is the total revenue that you get is 90,000 plus 66,000, and on weekends you get 180 plus 80,000. So for calculating the average revenue per weekday, whatever I am earning, I will multiply it with 5. And per weekend day, what I am earning, I'll multiply it with 2 and then divide the total by 7. There are a few small nuances, I think, is that you need to make the calculations really, really quick. Okay. So suppose something like, of course, you can automatically very quickly do something like this, which is 5 into 120 into 300, that is 600 into 120. So you will get this particular thing, right? Sorry, 115 to 120. So that, I mean, these are a little similar, little easier. The way you do something like 11 into 24 into 250 could be that you multiply 25 with 250, that gives you 6250, and you can automatically say that I'll multiply it with 10. So this number could very well be 63,000 as well, and that is completely fine. You'll just say that this is approximately this much. Okay, so this is one number. Now suppose you do not, your interviewer says that let's not go into so much detail and let's try to wrap it up quickly. Okay, another thing you can do is you can say that, okay, then I'll assume that I'll try to merge the peak hours of weekdays and of weekends and merge the non-peak hours of weekdays and weekends. That means that we will try to calculate what are the peak hours over the week and then do the entire calculation that we did earlier. Okay, so the way that it is done is, in all days the peak hours will be 3 hours on the weekdays and 5 hours on the weekends. That gives a total of 25 hours. And I will assume 120 customers are served per hour. Their average is 250, and hence the total is this much. Okay, and this is also another way in which we can find out the revenue. So these are two different ways I've told you. The amount of depth you need to go into depends on your interviewer, depends on the overall time of your interview. You can probably ask your interviewer when you are trying to decide that should I divide it into individuals, groups, or should I just take average. Then you can just automatically ask your interviewer that, sir, do we want to further divide it into small things, etc. Otherwise, you can just directly take averages, and that will be just a bit more quicker. Okay, now just doing a small sanity check. So our maximum customers per hour was around 120 customers per hour. That means that there are 2 customers being served every minute. Now, if I assume that there are 3 or 4 people working at the back who are making these burgers or filling up or, kind of packaging these fries and Coke, etc. So if there are 4 workers out there, I'm saying that I'm serving 2 customers per minute, then 4 workers can serve 2 customers per minute, right? That means that there are 2 servers regularly who are serving 1 customer in 1 minute, which is a decent assumption to take, because in McDonald's, the overall buns are made, everything is already pre-made. So it barely takes around 30 seconds to assemble a bun and 30 seconds to do the remaining of things. Suppose they take a Coke or they take some fries, etc. So an average of around 1 minute or 2 minutes per customer is completely decent, and that is how we say that the number is kind of same. Okay, so I want to leave you with a guesstimate question to do on your own, and this question is find out the average monthly revenue of an OYO hotel in NCR. So you can assume probably, I'll just give you one example of a preliminary question that you can ask. It could be that, is it an OYO premium or OYO budget hotel? So I will say it's an OYO premium hotel. So now try to find out that what would be the average monthly revenue. Let's try to do it for a pre-COVID scenario. Okay. So guys, I guess this was it from my side. I hope that this helps you kind of get some idea of how you do it from the demand side, while doing the sanity check from the supply side as well. Because as I said, there are 4 workers who are serving 2 customers per minute. That is something acceptable. But what if our number would have come about, say, 10 customers per minute? That means that serving 10 customers per minute is not possible for the store itself. So there will be a supply side constraint on the overall problem. And that would make it feel that, your numbers are probably not right, and you need to work on, making them a bit more realistic. Another thing is that whatever assumptions you want to take, if you state them upfront, and if your interviewer agrees with those, then that is also good enough. So I've seen that, like this problem is definitely there in a few books. So in a book, they said that I will just assume that only burgers are there in the menu and nothing else. So that makes it a little bit more simpler. That will make you understand that if a group is coming, or if an individual is coming, he can eat a maximum of 2 burgers. So that will make your problem a little bit more easier in terms of pricing, in terms of time to prepare a burger and all as well. So whatever assumptions you want to take, you feel that it will make your problem easier, you can ask the interviewer. that is it okay to assume if I just say that there are only burgers, because that is the main product of McDonald's anyway. If he says okay, then it is fine. If he says that no, I think you should consider a real McDonald's, then you have to assume it this way. So I think that this covers most of it. Just let me know what you think about the video. Do try the guesstimate that I gave you and let me know in comments. Also, definitely let me know what are the different other videos you want me to make, and I will try to post that. Thank you so much, guys, and see you again soon.